Hi, everybody. Thank you and good evening. Welcome for this evening session. I'm sure all of you are excited as me for learning one new tip, one new technique through which we can life, career, knowledge, or our mindset by 1 inch more, one step more, 1% more. This is all what is needed. We have to make paradigm shift. If you want to achieve anything significant, all you need to do is invest your time on things that matter for you and 1% better than yesterday. This is exactly what gets you to where you want. Okay, so if I may ask you, what were your earlier thoughts just when you were in your early younger days? What did you want to become? If I may ask you that, at least to me, if you ask, I would have not become an engineer for sure. I didn't have any dreams of becoming an engineer. I was always gazing at the stars, wanted to travel in the space and become some astronomer or something, but definitely not an engineer and not this what I'm currently doing probably. But somewhere we are programmed to believe that we are onto doing exactly what others have been doing. So each of us are into a vicious circle of following somebody else and eventually, buying somebody else's idea and unhappy at the end of the life. What's the point? And this is exactly the disease. The disease is called the conformity disease. Conformity is following somebody just because everybody is thinking that is popular. Popular is what kills us. Probably if you look in other countries and people are normally doing things that they're passionate about. Maybe somebody is a painter, a musician. There are few engineers, but then they are not all into crowd mentality. You know, we have to stand out of the crowd and beat this conformity. Today, I want to give you 5 thoughts which I've got, and each of us can build on it for sure. These are not the exhaustive list, but what I have felt closer to my heart, that these are the 5 powerful ways you can beat conformity, or you can at least understand yourself much more than what you currently know about yourself. Okay, so shall we go for it? Fantastic. So I want you to make your evening very productive. No matter when you watch a recorded video of this, or if you're live right now, I'm really thankful for you coming on live. Feel free to put comments, write something which you feel about this topic. And this is exactly the way you can actually learn by engaging and feeling powerful, no matter where you sit and what you do. The moment you are engaged with the topic and if you're responding, your internal brain starts activating and working in that direction. Never mind. My first take to beat conformity is, first thing is, of course, to know ourselves. We got to know ourselves so good. If we have to know ourselves well, then there are many ways to do that. Okay, one of the ways is to do meditation. One of the ways is to ask deeper questions of why I do what I do, or what is that I love, and why am I doing what am I doing. If you ask these deeper questions and go on and on, then you get there. Another best way, well researched one, is asking those 4 questions of ikigai: what I love to do, what I am good at, what skills are there, innate born skills that are there in me, which I think I am good at. Then third question is what people think I am good at, which means which they are thinking or think that they can learn from you. Okay, that they often say about you that you are very good in this. Sometimes you heard that. Probably you have, in the busy noise, you would have forgotten about it. It's time to remind ourselves the third question: what am I good and what people think I am good at? And finally, fourth question, most important, is to know whether they'll pay you for that. Why is this important? Is anything, if you want to do long lasting, it can only be done if you're passionate about doing it, you love doing it, and you have energy for it. And if you're good at it, of course, because you may love singing, but if you are not so good at singing, Why would people want to learn from you? Or why would they pay you for that? And what you don't get paid for, or what you are not appreciated for, you won't do it longer. So if you love singing or doing something about it and you're not good at it, it's okay to build those skills, but it would take a longer time than the ones which you already built. But definitely, if you love something to do, then you got to experiment around it. Then be around the musicians, learn from them. If you don't know singing, learn from them. Okay, that's the first thing, is to know ourselves well. Clarity is power. Ikigai, purpose of life, meditation, many more ways. You can go for, life coach, sit with them, go into dialogue mode, ask yourself the deeper questions. In the next 2 days, you have got a weekend, long weekend, you can ask there these deeper questions. I'm sure when you rattle your brain, ask those deeper questions, your younger days themes and thoughts would definitely come in. If you're already aligned with what you're doing and that's the purpose of your life, kudos, which is very good for you, because very few, I can say 4% in this world, are actually doing what they love doing, what they're good at. Most of them are sulking and feeling bad for what they're already doing. What's the point in arriving on the last day and feeling so sad for whatever you have contributed to this world? Really painful. Another way to beat conformity is be consistent. Be consistent, because if you can be consistent only in the things that you actually care for. If you care for being healthy, you will stop eating the junk food, or be consistent in exercising, following those yoga rituals or meditation or playing, whatever it suits you. But you will be consistent only things that you care for, right? You value for. So you got to find out what are those areas you can be consistent on. Because what you don't care for, you will never be able to be consistent there. You will find a reason for why you can't do it. So once you're knowing where you are consistent on, make your life your message, which means you be so good in whatever you're doing, when people will immediately relate you for that thing, right? And then be conscious about it. So whatever you commit to doing around that area, at least be consistent and do more of it, more often, more often. And then one day you will be so confident about it that this conformity can be just put outside the window. How? Because every time somebody comes and judges you or gives you a suggestion, you will be in a position to actually evaluate it well and say whether that really is important or not, by taking a prudent decision, because now you have enough experience around it. Initially, in the younger days, probably you can be prodded and you go in this way and that way, but then later on, when you're consistent and you're loving doing something, you will have lesser and lesser confusion. And then you will stop getting into this conformity problem, right? That's the second way I figured out that being consistent and something that you love can keep you on track, and you will be less prone for judgments and taking free advice from others. All this can be avoided. Of course, you can listen to somebody if the tool is wrong, if somebody says it's outdated. Of course, it's your job to figure out whether it's true or not. The moment you a little bit do research and you find that's not the fact, go in the same direction. If that is so, make small changes. It's important, because not everybody is trying to confuse you, but there are some genuine people. You got to know when to listen, when to ignore, but don't change your final goal. That will be criminal, because you can't change the goalpost. All you can change is your strategy within the game. Hmm? Third important thing is developing the emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is so important to beat the conformity disease, because the moment you are able to take your mind out of your body and look at it independent of your current feelings, is when you are able to actually make good judgments. And this, I often feel, that is a missing part of the bigger puzzle, and most of them do not focus in this domain, because they're so busy in a daily life, they hardly have time for developing this skill. This is definitely a skill because not born with emotional intelligence. Some people have few grades better than others, but most of us can develop this skill. So if you can develop this important skill of emotional intelligence, there are many tools, methods you can research. You can also make assessment about your current emotional intelligence level, and then probably if you can do that, check and find out how where are the small things that you can incrementally change, develop that empathy and care for people. You will definitely go a long way in this mastering the conformity problem. And surely what you got to ask yourself is, in this emotional intelligence, is whatever I'm doing, it's not just about me, but it's about the customer or the people that you care for in the society that you care for. Is it valuable for them? Is it something that people want to learn from me? Um is that something that I'm good at? These kind of bigger questions, but looking from a neutral point of view, from an outsider point of view, will actually make you much better at emotional intelligence state. And that's the fourth one, fourth one is, whatever you do, you got to lead with excellence. It means that you got to walk the talk. Be that you want to be others, others you want to follow you, then you got to just follow yourself first. Show that you are able to produce results. You are able to be holding on to whatever you are saying for many months and years before you actually talk to people about it. My mentor T. Hawaker told me way back in 2014, when I wanted to get into this kind of a speaking business or talking to people in a public forum, he said you shouldn't just get inside this domain unless you feel that you're at 70% level. I don't know when it will be 70%, but definitely it will take few years before you are at least there. It's somewhere around that. Okay. So when you know that you have actually learned at good level and you have implemented it for many years, then you are actually ready to give to others. But yeah, you have to decide what you have good in you based on, as I said, through Ikigai, where you're consistent at, practice that emotional intelligence. Then you come to this fourth step of leading with excellence. Okay, you got to take the initial arrows. The silver bullets will come onto you. People will challenge you. You got to, you're leading. You got to take those arrows, and you got to be responsible. No, you got to be. You know that you are the one who's actually taking those decisions. And unless you love yourself, care yourself, value yourself, it's not about ego I'm talking. It's about whether you love deeply yourself and care for yourself first, then the care and love can be seen in other people's eyes, and the genuine care and love will reflect. Okay, the whole world is open for us to give that love. Abundance is just outside there, but then the way it should come out is being useful to the people, to the society, being that inspirational person yourself, by doing that thing that you are saying to others to do, by doing yourself first. That's with lead with excellence, lead with example. Okay. Then the fifth, which is the most important, is become a collaborator. Okay, you got to develop a tribe, a group who believes in whatever you're doing and go after relentlessly promoting and caring more for others' success than yourself. Make this your mission. Let them be empowered to make some changes without changing the core philosophy. See, there should be core values which should be intact. Whatever you're driving, whatever mission you're driving, whichever company you're working, whatever company you are creating, make sure that you are having some core values, and these core values shouldn't be unaltered. But then you can change the game plan. You can allow freedom around there, but not the core values. And that's when the engine goes smoother and faster. And that's when you can help others also not to get into the conformity trap, right? Otherwise they will also try to say, what is the point if I'm following the rule book then? But rule books are, of course, important for having consistency, but having the freedom to change when you see that it is not important is good. but the foundation cannot be altered. That should be intact. This is what you got to make sure if you're onto driving any mission, anything in your own life or family. Okay, change is constant. I understand this. The world at the moment is really going at a very fast pace. We are all into a kind of a race car, and very less time for all of us to look back and see how things are going. But make a practice of every Sunday doing a 30-minute reflection as to how and where you're going. Ask these so-called these 4 or 5 questions. Research more about it on how to beat conformity. Think about, just, am I doing what I love? Am I going in the right direction? Are these the values that I want to contribute? Am I thinking too much, not acting at all? Is my life going in the direction that I want to? So if you ask these kind of deeper questions, and which are the areas that I want to develop some habits and routines, how can I push myself past my own resistances which I have got? If you can figure out all the answers for them, then you can beat the conformity. It's so easy to beat. And my mission in life is to make sure that your dreams are come true. So that's how I put myself. My mission is to inspire and empower people to live the supreme vision in the area of career and business. So I want to help all of you to beat this. When I first heard about this percentage, that only 4% are actually having their 96% of the wealth, and only 4% are actually living their true dreams, and the rest 96 are a crowd mentality. I felt so hurt. I thought this should be my mission and purpose in life, to educate people to beat this conformity disease. That's why I'm actually relentlessly trying to create programs, network with people who are actually doing a little bit something more than their own current jobs, trying to change their fields, trying to get into a different track, trying different things or skills, anything that they want to. That's my passion, and that's what I'm promoting for. So I wish you all a very good luck in whatever you do. I would just like to summarize in 2 minutes what I said till now, and then I close. Okay. So the first way to beat yourself is know yourself better through Ikigai, get the power of clarity. Second is to be consistent, make your life your own message. Be conscious, be consistent, be confident in whatever you're doing. Develop these skills first. And then also the third is emotional intelligence. Develop the skill of emotional intelligence. Understand what people want from you, and it's not about your life but it's about the others. Develop that empathy. Fourth is lead with example or lead with excellence. Be that you first, what you others wants from you. Okay. Be responsible, love yourself, be kind, be useful to people, and take those first arrows yourself before you try to pass on to others. Fifth and the last is collaborator. Be the collaborator, develop the tribe without changing those core values, keep them intact. I think that's what I want to share you for this evening. Have a wonderful evening, and thank you all those who could join live. And whenever you listen to this, please do comment what your thoughts are about the conformity, and would you want to join this tribe on beating this conformity and joining me in this drive. Thank you and take care. Have a great evening and a great weekend ahead. Bye bye. Bye bye.